While this won't be the first unboxing you hear here in the new year, this is the first unboxing that I'm doing in the new year. So I have a USPS Media Mail from Columbia Games. It is about half an inch wide, and it is approximately 8.5 by 11, maybe like 12 by 9. It's taped, so I'm going to have to use the box cutter as I cut this open, or the tape open, and then try to open it. The atlas in the background, maybe. All right, well, nice. It has an inner lining that's wrapped as well. This one's easier to, like an inner envelope. It protects it from bouncing around. And do we have? We have the Kingdom of Orbaal, Encyclopedia Harnica, number 5800 HC, hardcover. That's what HC stands for. It is in shrink wrap. So I'm opening the shrink wrap, which is kind of nice and easy. Sometimes shrink wraps are a little challenging. The book. Well, what is the Orbaal Kingdom module about? Well, Orbaal is a fractious kingdom in Harn's wild north, in a land of mountains and fjords, a land where the rebellious Yaren, beaten but not broken, chafe under the rule of Ivinian Viking warriors. Around 8,000 Ivinian conquerors hold almost all the kingdom's fortresses and rule over 6,500 Yaren. It's J, I guess it's Jaren, maybe it might be Yaren, I'm not sure. I have to look at the pronunciation. A major rebellion erupted less than 20 years ago, and considerable tension still smolders. So I guess you could imagine this is much like Ireland under the Viking conquest, or Scotland during the Viking conquest, or present-day Scotland. Not quite like the Danelaw, more like northern Britain and maybe Ireland. So there are also some semi-nomadic nations, the Anoa and the Emoti, and they have withstood the previous Yaren lords and current Ivinian invaders. Mountains that are dangerous, and they have creatures like they're called Gargoon, which are the Harnic orcs. Other dangerous creatures, Yalgri, which are kind of gargoyle-like winged humanoids. Ivashu, which are creatures created by one of the gods of Harn, and even dragons. So they also have a few other things here. Geldeheim Castle, the seat of Alagar II, Orbaal's strongest fortification, hub of trade and site of Harn's largest fur market. Lyriel Castle, largest settlement still held by a Yaren lord, Aemon Marwyn. Is adept at manipulating Yaren discontent while carefully ensuring no evidence points towards him. Then Lorcan Castle sits the head of the Anoth Delta, important center of maritime trade. And then Gedan, an ancient burial site. So pretty good. These are articles that have been in past. I don't know if I think they were in the previous Orbaal module, but now, of course, they've expanded them. I have to calculate how many pages you have in this book. But I will say it's a nice, very nice map on the front page, and then a poetic map of Orbaal. The Orbaal article itself is definitely much longer than it was in the past, and it clocks in at 62 pages. And then the Geldeheim article is long as well, so 14, and then 1, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. So about 30 pages for the Geldeheim, maybe a little more. Then Lyriel is also a good size. These are definitely expanded from what they had been before. They're only a few pages from before. It looks like that is, I don't know if anyone's calculating. It looks like to be 32 pages. So it looks like definitely pretty substantial with, so it's about 32, so 120 so far or so. Lorcan's 21 pages. it's 32 and 32, 64 and 61, 125 and 21 would be 160, whatever that would be, whatever you calculate that to be. I My math is weird. Anyway, 145. And then the Geddon article, actually the Geddon is definitely, it used to be like 2 pages, and now it's substantial with maps of what's there in Geddon, and underneath 11, it looks like 13 pages, and where it's located in a map of the surrounding. So about 150 pages, close to 160 pages worth of material. It looks really good. All of these. So let's break down with just the Orbaal article. The first 10 pages are history and politics. From page 11 to it looks like 11 to 12 are the sort of the Avinian culture. 13 to 14 is the Yaran culture, and then economy and military resources from 13 to 17. Then there's a little blurb about the Yarn resistance and where that comes from. I'll always love the achievements of the great clans, a nice panel of sort of the heraldry of the great clans of Orbaal. They have some more politics of the tributary government, which looks very, very convoluted. A lot of the royal domain and then the tributary domains are pretty involved. Quite a lot of holdings that there are. And then from there, from 22 on, it really talks about all of these different holdings in really in nice detail, much more than what they've done before. So from, that's quite a bit. So until page 61 of the Orbaal article, it has like a page for each of the holdings. So I guess if you can imagine, from page 23 to 61, that's 40, almost 40 holdings, 38 holdings. So yeah, it's pretty good. And like I guess in a detail about each. All these walls have like a picture of the Lord or whoever is, in this case for the Avinians, the Valkar, and then like a little blurb about the place, some tidbits, probably some adventure hooks, which I think is always kind of cool. You can imagine it's like a bestiary for each of the holdings, which is kind of fun. And a Gelderheim, again, it's like history, current situation, and then what I thought was pretty nice from a lot of the Gelderheim articles, like a gazetteer of Gelderheim, and then there's even more. It's almost like extra stuff that seems to have been added for the article. A new creature. It's very interesting. I haven't seen that before. So pretty cool on what they've added for Gelderheim. Same thing with Lyrial history, culture, adventure hooks abound. So that is the Kingdom of Orbaal. It's a combination unboxing and mini review. I really enjoy it. I definitely need to reread it and check it out and see what adventures I can pull on it. I've always had this way back when I used to. Way back when Hero Central was around, which is play by post, run by Hero Games, I ran a Fantasy Hero game, or tried to, called Black Sails over Orbaal, which started on the continent in the Kingdom of Menglana, and then I would have taken it to, for a couple of places in Menglana, and then to the Oracle at Kirinheim, and eventually to Orbaal. And I had an idea of what the Black Sails would be. So anyway, I don't know if I'll try to bring that back. I don't know if I'd use Harn rules. I always loved the Harn world, but the main issue, especially with combat and the Harn rules, why I love the percentile dice. They have sort of a contracted life path system, but it seems like when you make decisions in combat, they're not really very fulfilling. And maybe something like Burning Wheel or the Riddle of Steel might work. But even Fantasy Hero worked honestly really well. I just have to, wish I could go back and look at my notes and what I set up for Fantasy Hero, and I would need to reread Hero 6th edition to see. I used it. This is Hero 5th revised, so I'd have to go back and look. Or maybe I could just pick up the Fantasy Hero book. I think I still have the Fantasy Hero book and check out what I could do if I remember how I did it. Anyway, that's Kingdom of Orbaal.